Hello everyone and welcome to this week's reviews. Aardman's newest movie was released in Europe back in October. Now it's finally reached these shores thanks to Netflix. The mischievous sheep Shaun finds himself meeting a friendly alien and they team up to hopefully get him home. This is Farmageddon, a Shaun the Sheep movie. The sequel is nicely in keeping with the spirit and humor of the television series and the first Shaun the Sheep movie. The team at Aardman have really nailed the silent and dialogue-free storytelling of Shaun and his farm friends. However, I've always admired the texture of Aardman's films and how they lit a lot like live-action movies that inspire them. In this case, there's definitely a heavy influence from Spielberg classics like E.T. the Extraterrestrial and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And yet they also play around with the familiar elements like the government agency in pursuit of the alien. I really admired how they portrayed the villain in Farmageddon and the direction they took her in. Of course, the silent gags are very funny as we see more of Shaun's interactions with Bitzer the dog, as well as his new friendship he forms with the alien. Surprisingly, the other sheep are not as prominent as they were in the first movie, although they do get their moments, as does the farmer. The production designers have also increased the size of the farm, and they have added more layers and details to the location. That allows for creative gags involving a tractor and the farmer trying to cash in on an alien craze that sweeps the town. However, that wonderful handmade quality that categorizes all of Aardman's filmography remains. It's just a really sweet, touching, and funny film with that winning British humor and a lovable protagonist we can get behind. It's disappointing Farmageddon was not able to get a theatrical release over here, but I'm glad that Netflix decided to pick the movie up in certain territories, meaning a potentially big audience will be able to experience its joys. Next up, Chris Sanders makes his live-action directing debut with an adaptation of the classic Jack London novel, The Call of the Wild. If you've seen Sanders' previous movies, you'll know he has a real fondness for relationships between humans and pets. That theme continues in The Call of the Wild, and he does a beautiful job of telling the story, with help from the latest technology. A lot of his storytelling sensibilities he brought to Lilo and Stitch, How to Train Your Dragon, and The Croods come through here. While Harrison Ford is the human actor with top billing, the movie really belongs to Buck. It's his story, and by making him a computer-generated creation, Sanders has a lot more freedom to use him to explore the film's themes. It would have been impossible for Sanders to execute his vision with real dogs. Much like the book, the film shows the unfortunately brutal life that sled dogs during that era would have faced. He also really digs deep into Buck's journey from a domesticated troublemaker to try and understand this place in this strange, snowy new world. There are a number of scenes where Buck is merely sharing the scene with other dogs, and the animators use their facial expressions to really capture what they're thinking and what they're communicating. There's no dialogue in those scenes, with Sanders using the visuals to tell the story. Harrison Ford, meanwhile, gives one of his best performances as John Thornton, an outdoorsman who forms a bond with Buck. He brings so much heart and joy to the role, while showing the heartbreak his life has given him. The chemistry is wonderful, and that adds to the beauty of Call of the Wild. I was awestruck through the entire runtime of this film, and that's thanks to Chris Sanders' skilled direction and the smart screenplay by Michael Green. It's a film that respects the original book, even as it does the necessary changes in the adaptation, and captures the themes of the source material so well. Thank you for watching this week's reviews, and I'll see you next time.